going to invite Valentina up to talk about that one.
Which one? Right. The other way. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm Valentina, and I'm here today to present Orlando Short Term, one of the vacation rental management company. We have two types of customers. One is the real estate investors who give us inventory, so we manage to make money for them by renting the properties to the guests who come from United States or all over the world and stay. Basically, pool homes, townhomes, condominiums, everything is very close to Disney, Universal Studios. What makes us different is our Superhost standards. So we have outstanding reviews. We maintain a really high occupancy rate, more than 70%. We have in-house maintenance team, housekeeping team, which help us to address any issues that may arise in any hospitality industry and any hotel you stay. And we also have in-house front desk team, which address the customers' concerns. Orlando is the very favorite destination for this type of business, and lots of investors are interested in bringing money in here. Number one, U.S. Travel destination, great investment opportunities. You can choose so many different varieties of real estate with the reasonable pricing and return on investment, and still booming economy comparing to other locations in the U.S. or the world. And we did establish this company in 2019, and we grew this business from 20 homes to 70 properties. So each property is a hotel. It has a hotel license. And we had a pretty good life. We had investors flying private jets to my office and discussing managing not just the individual properties, but the communities. So, and everything looked pretty good to us until this year, 2024. Something really went not the way we expected. We lost 30% of inventory, so today we manage only 50 properties, and then our numbers, money-wise, went down too. You can see on top inventory, and this is money-wise, our revenue. When I look at all of this, I see that our occupancy rate is still staying high. Average, AirDNA website states that average Orlando occupancy rate for any average hospitality organization is 54%, and we are close to 80. We know how to sell our inventory, we know how to locate our guests, and we know how to service them. We're pretty good at that. So what is the problem? Where is the revenue? I think there is two big issues that we give us a headache today. One is that inventory. We lost 30% of inventory, and we having a hard time gaining it back. And the second issue is that we're not getting enough direct bookings. This pie represents how we share our booking channels, and you can see that almost everything comes from Airbnb, and then other part is the booking.com. So Orlando Short Term, which is our company, only represents like less than 5%. And the problem one was with the inventory. Why did we lose the properties? Why did owner decide not to continue managing, giving us homes for management? A lot of them decided to sell the properties because they were not happy with their return on investment they would get. And it mainly happened because there is so much supply and so not enough demand, because if you're local, there's so much construction, and there is big competition. So then new investors don't invest, don't buy right now because they are very scared of the higher interest rate. Then foreign investors, if we feel that our economy here is not so pretty right now, imagine the other economies in the globe. They're not even doing any better. And when people try to invest in here, we have this ban that Florida introduced to 5 countries in the world, if China represented majority of investment funds for us, now it is so limited. Only rich of the rich bring some funds here, but they're not definitely not investors for vacation rentals. They buy mansions for themselves to live, and this is out of the commission. Then direct bookings, why they are important. We have to pay high commission fees. ExpediaBooking.com, we charge up to 30%. Then we have so little limited control on the reservation and the guest relationships. And we're losing the brand by giving the sales away. And I do believe that if we increase our direct bookings by 10%, we can increase our revenue back substantially to the satisfactory level. And this graph represents that companies normally have 40% of the returning customers in the world, but not us. We are only at 5% on this point. So I like to see what you may think of that, and any feedback will be appreciated.
Well, we're going to open up to questions. I didn't put up my question and answer slide. Remember, questions in with a question mark. And we ask that we have one question per person, and we'll come back around to you if you have more than one. But ask one question per person on the first go around first. I'm going to start off. You didn't really tell us a whole lot about your business itself.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask, let's see, what's a good way to start with this? With your business, where are you at in growth or in growth in your business specifically?
We are declining. So we lost the position. We lost 30% of the revenue among with the inventory. So those two factors are connected, and we are. It's been like 8 months, and we are struggling to put it back. Because in order for us to increase the sales, we need to have inventory to manage. As a management company, we're getting paid by generating management fees or commission on sold nights. If as you can see, we have 80% occupancy, so we're good at selling those nights to the visitors, but we have no inventory to sell.
Right, questions?
And so what's your strategy right now for like marketing your company to get more investors, more inventory, so that you have more houses to sell?
Well, I think so. What I'm doing right now is I'm working on loyalty reward program for returning customers. I was trying to introduce paid ads on Instagram and Google Ads, and I realized that at that specific time, it's just not working. It's a lot of money to be wasted. Airbnb is there with the billions of budget that we don't have, and even if I get some portion of the visitors of Google that visit my website, what I'm going to show them, how is my listing listed on my website is better than the same house listed on Airbnb. And that's why I think we should work on the loyalty reward program so the customers can stay and know, why do I come back and book directly from Orlando short term and not going back on Expedia and book from Orlando short term on Expedia?
So one question I have for you in terms of return on investment. What is the difference with me going directly to Airbnb and listing it with them versus listing with short-term rentals?
You asking me what's the difference?
Yes.
That's what my dilemma is. So I realize there should be, even the price is the same. The price factor is most important, right? When you go in and book, so you think, yes, I think I don't have it right now. Besides that, I have great customer service, and I still have the same phone call center that Airbnb provides, and my agents respond like that 7 days a week. Price would be the same, but people feel more safe and secure when they book with the big giant company like Expedia or Booking.com, right? So that's why I think we need to, our next step should be working on loyalty reward program where people can see the real value and benefit of booking from us directly.
No, I was asking, for me as an investor, have you done that analysis to see how much the return would be for me as an investor listing my house, the inventory that you're looking for, was for me going to Airbnb versus coming to?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, if you are an investor and you wanted to list your home yourself on Airbnb, you're gonna have sleepless nights, and it is so much work. And people really try to do that. You want to have a professional management company because you need to have somebody to clean the home, to inspect the home, to maintain the call, to answer the phone call from the guest at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's a hotel business. If you're not in the hospitality industry, you don't want to do it yourself. So, and when you're a professional real estate investor, you work with the professional management companies.
That should be the sales pitch.
Exactly.
Rachel?
You mentioned the ban on owners that aren't from the United States. So are you saying currently that your company mostly has investors who aren't U.S. citizens or Florida residents? And what's your strategy to get more Florida owners?
Make a correction. The ban is for foreigners, for certain countries. And specifically, one of them is the China, who was the biggest real estate investor. Why this real estate was booming for the last 4 years. So the main real estate investor in vacation rental industry in Florida is a foreigner. That was historically like that. That's how it started in 1990s by British people. So think when you are local and you can fly easy, you don't really invest in that, right? So you wait for your kids to grow up, and the few years you bring them for Disney. You don't need that home. You have your own home up north, right? But when for foreigners, it's more difficult to fly, get visas, and it provides them lots of benefits. So a lot of them are foreigners.
Nice presentation. My understanding is that I have a suggestion and I have a connection for you. We can talk after the meeting, but the first thing is that you are competing with the tech giants like Airbnb, right? So I would suggest you to consider or reconsider to pivot your business idea or business model, I would say. So if you could have a, let's say, an infrastructure, right? You said that you're doing some marketing and sales. You could pivot that business model and do your business B2B with Airbnb, providing them data, local data, and sell it to them. You know what I mean?
No.
Okay.
Well, we are working with the Airbnb. We have they sell us wonderfully great. We are having like 85% occupancy because of Airbnb selling us amazingly. They get paid, we pay them, and it all works. But we want to get direct bookings to avoid it.
Eric, Elliot, and then Sean.
Have you considered reaching out to customers that have been there in the past personally, sending them a personal invite and giving them a 5% discount?
10%, sir. We're giving them 10% every time they checking out. Before they check out, day before we send them, hey, this is for tomorrow. This is how you're gonna do this checkout. Please come back. When they check out, we find, hey, hopefully you made it home safe. Here is your discount code. Please come back, stay with us again. But that's not enough.
Are you reaching out to them a year later?
No, and no, we're reaching out the day before and at checkout, and same day of checkout to make sure that we thank them for the stay, and reaching out the day after the checkout with the discount code, because it's actually, I know every time vacation is very emotional. As soon as you get home, you think, I want to go back on vacation. And that's when people are really ready to book next year vacation. So it really works sometimes. I see they start looking and looking on the website because I see the traffic, but I don't see it on my numbers.
That's right. So I very much appreciate you having two issues, right? Occupancy and inventory. It seems like inventory is the big one to tackle. Us being from the hospitality industry, out of townhomes, condos, and homes, which one would you say is your bread and butter, and which one?
Single family homes, 3, 4 bedrooms with the pool and some sort of view.
Okay, and would you ever consider having your own that you owned? Right, and so like I'm thinking maybe find local investors, purchase more homes to increase your own inventory and have a higher profit margin, because you'd be able to control, your own inventory without looking for other homes that are not, inside of your own portfolio.
Well, good question. I do. I'm a real estate investor. I do have a portfolio, and some of them are vacation rentals because I'm not. I have a team helping me to manage. So because I do have that specific real estate piece, I keep a hand on it, so I know I can feel it every day. I know how it works, so it really helps me with that. Increasing, but you remember the issues I mentioned, like how to purchase those real estate vacation rental homes are more expensive. That same piece of real estate in a different area, not zoned in vacation rental area. It's not very attractive at this moment. That's why I understand local investors who do not invest and do not bring me these homes for management, even though they say when they speak that's amazing and stuff, but there is not many of them.
Maybe the referral program is great, or the loyalty program, but maybe an incentive for them, like a trial or like promotion. Like your first 3 months are discounted, right? And so maybe something to get these investors in for profitability.
Okay, thank you.
Four more questions, and I'm going to ask that the questions be very, very brief so that we can get to our next presenter. But 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Quickly, I still trying to figure out what business you are in. Too much of the slides.
Too many slides.
Second, you have a solution looking for a problem. That is the main problem all over the world. So you have to really make sure there's a problem. Who wants your solution? It's like putting a toothpaste back in the tube.
Okay.
That's what you're going on.
All right.
I can help you.
Okay, thank you for your feedback.
Do you have some kind of like a guest book or something when people come in?
Yes, sir. It's a digital version. They receive it 2 weeks before arrival, and it's one in the house too.
Right, but what I'm getting at is have a guest book. I know friends that do this. They have a guest book, a literal guest book in
With
the
the
house.
feedback, right?
Right, that people
I
can
see.
sign and, hey, we loved it. And then that helps you create a mailing list that now you can send different things out to your market. Hey, we happen to have this special going on, or, like some of the other people do.
Good idea. Thank you. I see. Thank you.
And finally,
There was a point question there, like how to bring.
Inventory, right? Oh, the guests, how to returning customers.
The same thing. I got a suggestion.
Please.
Going against the giants of the industry, like Airbnb or you should check into seeing how you do something different. Track the different points. Try to cover it.
I'm sorry, Daniel, we're going to cut off questions so we can get to our next. I've got one final question for you. What can we, as the Orlando chapter of 1 Million Cups, do for you?
Well, I think you are amazing as you are, and you're really inspiring. And the feedback is the most important part of it. That's why I'm here for. Maybe if anyone has anything later to add to that, just reach out. I'm very happy to connect.
Great. Thank you very much. I am going to give you one final slide, and anybody who does a presentation, your final slide should have your contact information on it,
Ooh,
because that's going to sit up here
True.
during the question and answer session. So,
Very much.
so that's a little recommendation as you guys are working on your own pitches or your own presentations. And now, Toby Payne with OfferBite is going to be our next presenter. And the entire OfferBite Mafia is here. By the way, if anybody has parked in the lot on that side of the building or the lot directly across the street, run out right now before they tow your car.
That's the front of the building.
Hmm?
So
That's the front of the building,
so across the street.
across the street, in front of the building, and that,
The right of the building.
I made that announcement earlier. Hopefully.
Oh, God.
Hey, good morning. My name is Toby Payne, and I'm here with my partners Matt and Paramat, and we are incredibly grateful to be here. So thank you all for your time, and we are even more incredibly excited to share with you the first app of its kind. For those of you, I imagine many of you here, like to go to restaurants. The National Restaurant Association values the restaurant industry at $1.1 trillion annually. It's growing. However, there's a problem. Inflation. Inflation is impacting restaurants. It's decreasing traffic from diners. And ultimately, it's creating rising operational costs. Food, waste, increased marketing costs, reducing visibility and brand awareness. It's incredibly tough if you're in the restaurant business right now. But here's the big challenge for restaurants. Exorbitant third-party commissions, in some cases 30%. Can you imagine 30%, right? You have reservations, right? OpenTable, Rizzy. You've got delivery, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, multi-billion-dollar companies. So why has no one even considered or created a relationship or connection between diners and restaurants to drive traffic into restaurants and make it a win-win and mutually beneficial for all? We know that 8 in 10 diners will try a new restaurant if there's a personalized offer or in-app deal. So we created OfferBite, saving diners money and helping restaurants thrive. Yeah, baby. So how does OfferBite revolutionize the dining experience? Well, if you're in the greater Orlando area, I will guarantee you that there's at least 25 restaurants in your local community. Yeah. And let's pretend an owner who signed up with OfferBite decides to put out an offer. If you have the app on your phone, you'll get that in real time immediately. Look, chances are nobody in this room likes to drink. And I would imagine most of you really can't stand happy hour. But let's just pretend for a moment that you do, right? Oh my God, it's 6:01. I missed it again, right? How many times have you been there, right? They're designed like that. But, you know, just say an owner, right? An owner could say, look, for the next 5 days, we increase it till 7 o'clock or even 8 o'clock. Or we're going to put a regular restaurant item, right, on our menu item, on our happy hour list. Do you think that might make a difference and drive more traffic? So discover exclusive deals, receive personalized recommendations, get real-time notifications, and share deals hassle-free. Now, what if you're an owner in this economic climate? We said, right, traffic has significantly reduced. We know in Orlando it's very close to 10% in the last 12 months. Can you imagine as an owner of a restaurant the fear, worry, and doubts? Like, how am I going to survive, let alone be successful? So, diners save, restaurants thrive, and communities connect. I am honored to share with you that since our very recent launch, we have onboarded 58 restaurants in Greater Orlando who are now enrolled in the app. I mean, so that guy over there. And our prediction in the next 3 months is we will have 108 paying subscribers at an average monthly subscription fee of $350 a month, giving us a total monthly recurring revenue, which is compound, by the way, of $130,400. So thank you. Welcome to OfferBite, and we would welcome your feedback. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, and we've got the Mafia up here to answer the questions. So I'm going to come over to this side, and we're going to start with Mary, and then Peter, then Daniel, and then Paul.
What's the use case? How does the app work? Is it a B2B or is it a B2C model?
So we have created 2 apps. We got one, which is the OfferBite actual user app, which is all for everyday consumers. And I told you examples is, let's say you have 25 or 30 restaurants in your communities. Anytime when these restaurants decide to launch an offer, you will get a notification in real time immediately. That offer could be at 30% of the entire menu off. Let's say as a restaurant owner, sometimes I have a steakhouse and I'm running high in some items like sirloin steaks. And if I don't sell, let's say I have 50 sirloin steaks left, if I don't sell that 50 sirloin steaks, they're going to go to waste. Versus me getting that risk of chance that, 50 sirloin steaks goes to waste, I can decide to do a real time, basically 50% off of all sirloin steaks for that specific weekend. So you as a user, if you are in the area, if you decide to follow that restaurant OfferBite, you will get notification immediately. For example, Longhorn Steakhouse just launched a 50% off on the entire steak items Monday through basically Tuesday, for example. Then the second app, which we designed, is for managing their restaurants. So all restaurant owners have a different app that they can manage their portfolio, and restaurants that they can manage their promotions and any sort of creating happy hours or events from the second app that we designed for restaurant owners.
Yeah.
First, for the presenter, were you comfortable presenting?
Now, I'll be completely transparent. I lost my mom a couple of days ago, and so my mind and emotions are a little bit all over the place. But am I comfortable in general presenting? Yes, and I'm incredibly passionate about this product.
Yeah, because many times you just that can be related to the presentation.
I appreciate that.
And also, what is your who's your target in terms of clients?
Right now, we're targeting the entire Greater Orlando. We're covering as far as the north of Sanford all the way to Kissimmee. So
by age or something.
We're targeting everybody. We don't have a specific age. As a foodie, you could be as little as 12 years old all the way to 70.
Foodies.
Correct.
Okay.
First of all, condolences for what you just shared about your family. Anything critical questions I may ask stem from my been in the restaurant place and what so I'm just trying to spill out what I think are common challenges. The marketplace model. Local versus the bigger you go, the challenges are clear, right? Yeah. And then the history is Groupon did that, trying to tell restaurants to drive in customers with all these offers. And the reality was, customers came for the offer and never came back because once they knew they can pay 30% less, they didn't want to come unless there's an offer. And that business, as we all know, is completely covered. So all these, and then in addition, you got to build a customer base. You got to have the end consumer, you got to have the restaurants, and you got to do it locally super strong. And app install, I don't know, ranges from $1 to $10 these days, unless you go viral, which almost no one does because the platforms don't want you to go viral. So some of these things, how can you really prove to a restaurant already that the people will come back and you create full tables? Because you're right, a restaurant only cares about full tables.
So, and just being clear, like Groupon's number one thing, they don't have specifically focus on restaurant industry. They're all about retail industry. So the number one focus is not restaurant. On the other hand, Groupon's charging the restaurant's owner 50% of that sales commission. So if a restaurant owner, if I, let's say, decide to do offers a coupon in Groupon, right? They charge me 50%. So versus us, restaurant on average, like average restaurant owners, they spend between 6 to 10% of their revenue in marketing budget, which they'll do whatever it takes to increase our foot traffic. On an average mid-sized restaurant, they average sales is between $50,000 to $60,000 a month. So just by spending, let's say, $2,000, $3,000 to just increase that traffic by 1/10 of what the typical marketing budget is, we basically can guarantee them a certain number of food traffic. Let's say on average, if OfferBite can, once OfferBite take off, right, we're gonna have 5,000 users in just Greater Orlando. Just a simple math. Anytime one of these restaurants decide to launch an offer, if only 10% of those people show up for that offers, their already cost is not even covered. They actually can generate the traffic from that specific offer only.
So that's like Groupon. I'm talking 15 years ago. They stopped that, and you're right. They don't do this anymore because it didn't work. That's but I tell you, when they launched it in Europe, they did the same thing. They offered exactly this promise 15 years ago, and it all turned not working out because people didn't come again. They only came for this offer, which was not profitable for the restaurant.
I'll take it.
So as a one of your restaurant customers, like how are they able to, what like features do they have to be able to measure the effectiveness of service?
So there's different levels of the app. There's basic, there's pro, there's ultimate. One would be geographic, 5 miles, 10-mile radius, 20-mile radius. Basic, you could do individual restaurant items or a percentage of the whole menu, right? Then we've got pro. Now it would include, for example, happy hour or events. How about date night or a vendor night? And just going back to the gentleman's question before, cool thing about this is real time, so the owner can change it in a moment. So look, not everyone's going to continue coming for 20%, or if it's 20% one week, certain restaurant items the next week, happy hour the next week, maybe they take a little bit of a break, right? And then a month later, they do an interrupt. But obviously the higher level of the app, there's many more options for the owner to do. They've got complete control, and a notification is sent to you, use it in real time.
Paul, Sean, Rachel.
Can you explain your pricing model a little bit more? You said there's different tiers, and then what is the pricing model, and then what is the term?
Sure. So we have 3 different plans available for restaurant owner. Our basic, which is absolutely no cost for restaurant owners, is essentially that trial, right? You're gonna let them taste OfferBite. We have the basic, which it costs $0. It's free completely, but there have limited features we'll get to. We have our Pro, which is the second model, which is started at $299 a month for restaurant owners, and we have our Ultimate, which is at $399. So the difference between the Pro and Ultimate are the radius that they can reach to their customers. If you're under Pro, every time you decide to launch an offer, you can reach within 10 miles around that restaurant's location. And if you're under Ultimate, every time you decide to launch something, it reaches 20 miles around that restaurant's location. And on top of that is obviously we don't want to get the users bombarded with notifications. So we put a limit on the amount of numbers that they can have unlimited basically offers or promotions, but they're limited to the amount of time they can push it out there. So under Pro, their max notification is 4 a month, and under Ultimate is 8. Essentially, we're gonna tell them, hey, be smart with your decision. Utilize your notification for your aggressive promotion and discounts. So like if you're doing a 5% like small offer for a weekend, obviously we don't want you to use that and burn on notifications. So we put a limit. Let's say if that restaurant's doing a 30% off an entire menu for a certain week or period, then use that notification, utilize that. So the difference is amount of like under Pro they have 4, Ultimate they have 8.
term, month to month?
Month to month, correct. It's a monthly, month to month contract. They can be canceled anytime. And we do have a discount for them if they do for annual subscription, which under the Ultimate they get 20% off annually, and under the Pro is 10% discount.
First of all, this is a good presentation. The restaurant business is the riskiest business in the world.
Absolutely.
App is just a tool. It's a service that counts. But I want to come back. So you have to think about how you focus on service. Than an app. App is a tool. That's it. You have the best app. But still a service. Without that, no business.
So that's an incredibly good point. So when you say service, you're referring to the service from the restaurant or the service from us with as the app?
A service in the restaurant. Why I want to go to this restaurant? I want to ambient.
Right.
I want to enjoy it. I want to come back. I want
Love
to tell
it.
my friends.
So that's a great. So glad that you asked that. We're very ironically, right? Everybody's selling, right? But we're very selective about restaurants. We've thought and had many discussions about this. What if somebody goes in and has a bad experience? So if we know, we're looking at their ratings first. We're basically interviewing the owner when we go in. Yeah, but so glad you brought that up.
It comes all down to service.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quality and consistency. That's what the industry is saying.
Yeah,
That's really what the 10% profit. That's really what it comes down to. You lose 30%,
Tough business.
you're done.
So is it only for like tangible businesses, or can you work with ghost kitchens, or let's say like coffee or something like that? Does it have to be
Yeah.
an
So
actual business?
we prefer the business that have a physical presence.
Dining.
But if there are restaurants or businesses that they are doing it successfully, and we're being, as they mentioned, very selective with the number of restaurants that is coming, most of the restaurants that they're on board right now, we sign up one restaurant and we get 5 referral out of that restaurant. So we haven't really went out there and knock on doors and invite everybody to join our platform. And we also, right off the bat, we had a lot of requests to go on the paid subscription, which we haven't unlocked it yet because of our user base. We are waiting. We unlock it once we have enough user base that we think that every restaurant can benefit from. And there's one more thing that I want to add. We didn't mention it in the slide. So one of the reasons that we came up with the application is not only to help restaurants to grow and put their offers out there and reach as many people as possible, but also for the people to have everything under one umbrella, seeing happy hours, specials, offers, everything under one umbrella. Get engaged with the restaurant as well as restaurant owner get engaged with the user, with the customers. And so we didn't want to tap into any kind of revenue with the restaurant. We just wanted to offer our services to what restaurant, and so they can give them more reach to the radius around them. But it end up getting the feedback that they would like to share a portion of their revenue because it feels more secure for them. So that's why we decided to integrate the POS system in our application too, which will be probably ready in like 2 to 3 weeks from now. Which the users will be able to order from the application and do a pickup. We do not do delivery, and we are not planning to do delivery. That's a very saturated business, and we certainly don't want to get chewed up with any big businesses or any big corporates. Just wanted to put it out there. Beside the services that we have to offer, we will be integrating the POS system, which that was the request for mid-sized to big restaurants that we signed up.
Peter and Michael, and then we're gonna.
Okay, so sorry for your loss. Great presentation. You have two target markets here. You have the business and you have the customer who is going to be using the app. How are you handling marketing? Who is marketing the app for you? Is it the restaurant or who is taking that?
Well, not to make this humorous, because it's not humorous, a very, very good question. Not the person who designed this PowerPoint, because there's no information on there. So we literally have just, to put it mildly or lightly and respectfully, we've just fired our marketing, and we have someone with a marketing agency right now who actually also owns a restaurant and has just turned around a restaurant, a failing business, and we're very, very confident in what's happening. And our big, big, big push now, obviously, is users. But we got to be incredibly careful as well, because just imagine, right, a user gets on and something in the app doesn't work. So right now, we really want to build the platform and foundation first. So right now there's beta testing going on. You know, so we still, and just to speak to that, if you're calling me speaking about, I think one of the things that why I mentioned inflation, right? The whole compelling reason or motivation for Matt to co-found this business was because of inflation, and people just don't have any money left over to go out. Delivery, right? If you ever get delivery, it's probably $8 for one person. Adding everything up right now, it's $8 more than it used to be, right? And so the user pays nothing, only gets right a discount on that. But in terms of the marketing, we've been incredibly careful and strategic. So we've had some marketing people come, we've had some go. We've got Janias over there, who's part of our team as well. So.
And to answer your question, we didn't necessarily, fire them. We just put everything on pause for our marketing because we had them on board, and their main focus, especially our marketing director, was to just target social media, and the cost per user was extremely high, and we were getting more user by just restaurant word of mouth and people just recommending, like restaurant owner having our QR code. That got us 200 plus download versus the budget that we spent on the marketing, and we didn't get a fraction of it. So we decided to just switch our focus on the communities and people who are well connected in Orlando, instead of just going out there and giving away this money to Facebook, to Instagram, and just the result that we see is very, very little with that. So we just put that on pause. We'll just turn on all the campaigns and everything back on again. But right now, our main focus is to sponsors, school district, hospitals, and other places, so we can build that community in Orlando.
And excuse me, firing is kind of a harsh way to describe that. Let's just say we're in no contact. Well, we're taking a slight break.
I want to be cognizant of everybody's time. Michael and Andrew, if you guys could ask your questions, and then maybe you guys can answer them offline. But I want to give you both a chance to ask your questions or bring up your points.
So you kind of answered my question about I was wondering if there are any in-app purchases. I was curious, any other features that will make this easier to restaurant? There's this concept of plus models, so extra.
And let me tag on Andrew's question as well.
Well, it isn't a question as much as a suggestion. Waste. Waste, that's one of the issues. Waste. Collaboration. A lot of owners. When it comes to marketing and getting the name out there, jumping up there, explaining service. So when you guys go out to interview, if a person place that is better service place than others, you guys have like a QR code that's but waste, I believe that could be that was
That's a really, really good point. And there are some, it depends on the place, like the waste for some big places, like for example, school, universities, some cafeterias. The waste is high, but at the same time, there are some legal responsibility comes with it. So unfortunately, we kind of like let down for because we thought the same way that maybe we can just help the communities and we grow from there and just we take care of their problem for them. But they were more gravitating toward just donation later on with the amount of waste that they have, and they were okay with that, which will be partaking in that. But there's some like bigger places, government places, there's some legal issue comes with having that food, handing out that food at the end of the day a little bit, or just even like storing somewhere and then giving it away. But we tap into that. It's a little bit of a gray area for some company. It depends on the place that we work with, but that's a really great point, and we're working on it.
One point with your presentation and how you do things, you did a good job of bringing up the problem. I would say that your discussion about how you're solving that problem kind of didn't concentrate on solving the problem, it concentrated on the app and functionality of the app. So give a little bit more thought into the problem that you're solving and how the app solves that problem for addressing the higher costs that the restaurants are dealing with. And that's going to be a good selling point if you're looking for investors or things like that, is how you're solving that problem. And then our final question: what can we, as the 1 Million Cups Orlando chapter, do for you? I'm thinking that I should get the QR code that you're talking about.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can
yeah.
just have it here, you can scan it everywhere you go,
Scott came
redeem
up
the
with
code, but.
Scott came up with a great idea of one of those temporary tattoos, right? Probably have it
Yeah, I mean, the feedback and the question is just the biggest thing. We are here for that reason. We don't know what we don't know, so please just bring it to our attention, and we would like to know. We kind of like went over the different successful and unsuccessful businesses before us and established like decades ago, and try to polish it in the way that it actually works and benefits everybody. So it's a win-win for the user and restaurants, and hopefully we can get it to the degree that we want to grow it to that degree.
And don't ask us anything. Instead, follow us on social media. Say nice things about us. If you like what you saw today, of your experience, don't forget to scan this QR code and leave a comment about the coffee that you enjoyed. And if you enjoyed the experience here at 1 Million Cups, please go on social media and say nice things about us. If you didn't enjoy, log in as somebody that you don't like and say something nice about us there. That'll show them. I got my own sharing section with Jay. It's awesome. Go out and have coffee at a local coffee shop, or have lunch at a local restaurant. Support local businesses. Entrepreneurs need to support other entrepreneurs. The big guys are doing just fine, like I say. And afterwards, Dan will be recording some 1-minute testimonials. Again, if you have a nice experience and you want to help us out with our social media, connect up with Dan afterwards, and he'll get a really quick testimonial from you, and we really appreciate that. And next week we will have presenters. I promise. We'll see you all next week. Thank you all very much.